Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to learn about CloudFormation. So CloudFormation is a very important service available in the AWS. So basically this allows us to uh, set up your environment onto the cloud. You can use the cloud resources and then configure your environment. For example, let's say you are going to run an application and that application needs one EC2 machine, and then also you need a database, and you want to have interaction between the your virtual machine and the database. So the customer request will be received and executed by the EC2 instance, and then these requests are to be sent on to the database to fetch some record based on some requirement. So you have decided to configure a VPC. You will first create one virtual network, and in that network you do all the basic configuration, like you will create a some network, and then you will also create a internet gateway, and maybe you need a net gateway, and then you will create one EC instance, and then you will also provision one database. So all these things will be required to make the entire system ready to work. Now this is all what is required, and this requires effort and time. Now assume that you have to do this kind of setup n number of times. That means you will be doing this effort n times. So the cloud formation is basically allowing us to create a blueprint of these environment. Means whatever the setup we are creating, we can just create a blueprint of this. We can create a template of this, and whenever we need this kind of environment again, we can simply use the template, and the things will be provisioned within a seconds. So this is a very excellent feature provided by the cloud. So with the Amazon, we are calling as a cloud formation. So let's start at how to work on this cloud formation. So we'll go to the AWS account. This is the AWS account. I have already logged in here, and we want to use cloud formation. So we can go and search here cloud formation. You can type here and you can get cloud formation, or maybe it is visible onto the screen if you have used this recently. Like, and on my screen I can see some of the services are visible. So cloud formation is here. I can select this cloud formation. So the entire template to be prepared using the YAML YAML language or the JSON. So how to prepare a template if you don't have any knowledge of JSON or YAML? In that case, there is nothing to worry, because we have a designer facilities here where you can simply identify the resources which you need, and automatically your code is generated, and then you can just make very fundamental changes which is required onto your resource. Now in the cloud formation, basically we are managing all the resources which are required into the application. So we need to create a stack. So a stack is basically a set of resources that are required into the environment that actually used by the application. So maybe I may be using two EC2 instances. I may be using one kind of database, some special resource I am using, for example, for storage. So all these resources which are used are to be uh, set as a part of the stack. So stack is just a collection of all the resources which are used to design my environment. So I will be going to create a stack first. So here we can see that here we need to go through 4 steps. Specify the template. Now a template may be already been created by you, so you can use the previously made template and can proceed. You can also use a sample template which is provided by the Amazon AWS, and you can use these templates and then customize as per your requirement. Also you can create a new template. So we can create a new template using our designer. So we will go and write here create template in the designer, and then click next. So first we need to go here create template designer. Let's see what is required here. So here we can design our template by using the designer. So here we need to simply identify the resources which are required. So for the very first example, we will use the very common resource that we use into this AWS environment, which is a bucket S3. So let us take one bucket, and when you take one bucket from the list of resources, this is the bucket I have chosen here, and I just drag and drop the bucket here, and you can increase the size of the bucket, you can make movement. So this is one resource which I have taken into my template. So in practical sense, actually there is no need to just create a only one resource is there and we want to make a template of it, because directly we can make an image of the bucket and can deploy or provision it immediately. But just for the understanding of the environment, that how the environment will look like and what are the features provided to us, we have started with very small example. That bucket is we have used in the environment, and now automatically we have got the JSON code here. And in this code you can see it's the type is AWS S3 bucket, and then we can also use some more attributes to provide more properties onto our environment, onto this resource. For example, deletion policy means, let's say you have a template which comprises of three four resources have been used. You may say that you have used one EC2 instance, you have used one database, you have used some storage, and all these resources are used. That makes your entire application. And when you delete the template, that means all the resources which are defined into the stack need to be deleted. So if you want that before deletion, whatever the things you have stored into the database, you need to get some of the records or store some of the records, or you want to make a backup of all the record before deletion of the database, then you can uh, write on this attribute deletion policy. For example, you may write retain is a keyword that is used to retain all the data that we have stored using these resources. So likewise we can do a lot of stuff and handle the entire things using this designer. And then depends on is also one of the attribute that basically identifies the dependency if it is present onto the resources. Maybe there is one bucket is there you are using in your environment, and one EC2 is there, and you may be saying that only after the EC2 instance to be created first and then the bucket to be provisioned. So there's a dependency. So in the stack, while deploying your environment, it will first create the EC2 and then the S3. And then also likewise, if there are certain conditions or sometimes events you want to associate into the environment, can be done using these attributes which are shown here. And you can just write the code. That is also very simple. So once you start doing on it, you will just go through it, some basic the key terms, that how we can set these properties, and the things become very easy. So this is done. And once you have validated, here you can see this is component wise is visible to us. If you want to see the entire template code, the entire template code is also visible here. And what else we can do is you can also change the name if you want to give a name. Let's say if I give one name here, new dot template is given here, you can give let's say S3 template. So whatever the name you want to give, you can give, and then you can validate your template. You can just click on validate. It will validate, it will configure all the things which we have put onto this designer, and accordingly we get the JSON code here. Then this is to actually create the stack. So stack is basically the set of resources which are used to create our environment. So we'll click here and it will launch our template. Okay, so this is done, and now we will be moving to the next phase. And also one thing to note, that whatever the template we are creating, it is being stored into the S3 bucket, and this is the location it is defined to us, that our template has been stored here. Now we go to next, and then we have to write the stack name here. So let's say the stack name is demo template, demo s3 template, and then just click next. So now we are in the step number 3, configure the stack options. So we will keep all the things default, and also we can, you have to assign the IAM role. This is basically required because we want that only the authorized person can design this template and can use this template, because this is something, the deployment of the resources which is to be assigned to a particular person, that much have that that person must have that authority, or that must permission. So this we can set using the IAM. Already we have discussed that what things can be done with the IAM. So IAM is basically the identity and access management service provided by the AWS. So we'll keep all the things as it is. We will not going to make any change. We will just keep the default things, and we'll just go down and see what are the other options are available here, and then click on next. So our template is almost ready. This is a time to review what settings we have made so far. So this is the template URL, and you can just scroll down, and there is no need to set other options, and we'll say create stack. So it is being kind of in process. We'll just refresh it. So we'll see the resources that has been used in this template. So this is the resource we have used in this template, S3 bucket. Now if we go to the S3, we can find this template there. So we can go to S3, and this demo S3 template is visible to us. So this has been deployed. You can use it. You can upload any object onto it. So this is the very simplest one. Now we'll go and see some meaningful template which consisting of multiple resources. So let's say first go to the CloudFormation. So we have seen that in order to design a template, we have to actually create a stack. And so far we have created a stack using one resource, that is S3. Now we will go to stack again. Now we are going to create a new stack. So you can go to, now we will go with another option. So this is the one that we have used to just realize that how the template is look like, means how the designer is look like to create our template. And we have seen that we have one screen, and we can put the resources that we need and can design our template. Similarly, we can also make use of existing templates. For example, if there's a web-based application, or you might heard of the LAMP and WAMP, means you are going to make a web-based application where you are using a Windows server, you are using Apache, Tomcat, and you are using the PHP. So WAMP is basically stands for Window, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Similarly, there's a thing called LAMP where you use Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Now, this is something, if you want to use LAMP or WAMP, that means multiple resources has to be used. in order to run application on this, you need to install virtual machine. You have to install EC2 instance, and then on that instance you need to deploy a server, and then also you have to install a PHP onto it, and then you will be having a MySQL. So multiple resources have been used here. So instead of using or provisioning all the resources individually, we can use the template. So already the template has been specified. We can go and make use of this template to get our task done easier. So we'll go and select this lamp stack. So lamp stack consisting of all the resources which are required to develop your application based on the MySQL. And then you can go to next. So enter the stack name. So you can say this is a demo lamp, and now you have to provide the information because database has been used here. So you can provide one name here. Let's say okay, and what type of instance you want to install. You can just identify the instance, which the EC2 instance which you want to deploy, and then you can give the key pair. So already key pair has been made here. Let's say I have one key, CloudWatch. If you don't have the key, you can first create the key, and then you can assign that key, because the key is required to access your virtual machine. So if you are using the Linux machine, you may be using SSH, or with the or if you are on the window, you can use putty. So this is all. We can go to next, and then we keep all the things by default as it is, and then click on next. Okay, this is just to review what we have said so far, and then we click on create stack. So let's refresh this. Now go to resources, and you see that this is actually two resources has been deployed to EC2. One is for the instance, which is basically uh, for the public access, and this is a security group which defines all the security permissions that is applicable onto this environment. So then we go back to the stack. You can see this is your demo lamp is here. You can go into here and see more details if you want. You can go to the template, look to the template at how it looks like in the JSON format, and also how it looks in the designer. So this is the entire JSON code is created for you for your template. This you can use and deploy anywhere. So this is basically this is basically infrastructure as a code. So you are writing the entire infrastructure in the form of code, and if you go to designer, you are able to see that what are the resources you have used in this template. So you can see this, we have this web server instance, and then we have a security group. So this is what we have, we are saying as a lamp here. Okay, then we will go and just click on this create stack, And now we will go back to the EC2 and see that this has been deployed for us or not. Now separately we have not deployed this. We have simply create a template, and with the help of template we actually configured everything. So we go to EC2. In the EC2 we expect to get our instance ready there. So this is showing some instances ready for us, and you can see here. So this is the instance that has been created for us. You can also give a name if you want here. So you can say this is our lamp instance. Also you can see this is the same which we have used demo lamp web server. And okay, let us try to connect with this instance. So we can use putty, and with the help of putty we can connect to this. So here I have a putty. This is here I can, and then I need a public IP address. So I'll go here and I can copy this public IP address, go to the putty, and then I go to SSH, and then I need to get my key. So it's already there on my desktop. This is my key, and click on accept. Then we'll provide the login details. And we are able to connect with our EC2 instance. Here we would like to check that this instance is the instance that we have created using a template. So in the template we have used a lamp environment where we have uh, different things are there. Instance EC2 is there, we have a database is there, MySQL is there. So let us check that in this MySQL has been installed or not. So write MySQL, and if we get the prompt, that means it has been installed here. So it says your MySQL connection ID is this. That means it's already been installed and we are able to connect to MySQL. So this is definitely the one that we have created using the template. And also if you want to check about the database, so you can write here uh, about the database information. You can say show database. Yes, so it's actually into the database. So what we have seen that we can manage the environment using the CloudFormation service. So what are the scenarios where we prefer? So we have seen that the entire application on which it depends on the resources, we can just make a blueprint of this, we can make a template of it, and it can be used and deployed quickly and easily. So the scenarios may be, for example, if any of the instance is not function properly and you need to create a new one, you need to create a new application, then you can simply deploy the entire environment running the template. Also if you realize that you need to shift the entire workload from one region to other region, then there is no need to configure all the things again. You can simply run the template and the entire environment will be get ready for you within a minute. The other scenario may be for the disaster recovery. So If due to some any calamity in the region, if you find that you need to deploy or create your the entire environment to some other location, then it can be done very very quickly, because there is no need to configure the entire environment. So this is all, and I hope that you understood the basic offerings of this cloud formation, and when we can use it and how to use it. So this is just a very introductory part given to you, and basically you can learn about all these things when you can yourself explore the things. So once you start getting the familiarity about the environment, you can try on yourself, and you will find that you are like more comfortable and having better understanding on these kind of services provided by the AWS. So this is all. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.